Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. Thanks for watching. So I wanted to go over the best and the worst advice that I've ever received on YouTube. And this dates back to even before I had a channel, just in general, from watching videos and people giving me advice. Anyway, the best two that I've ever gotten that I found very helpful for my channel is one, switching from Seachem Prime to Seachem Safe. Seachem Safe is the new water conditioner that I've been using now for a couple of years, and it lasts at least 5 to 10 times longer than the Seachem Prime does. And that's especially more important for me now that I have the tanks in the garage fish room. If I'd still be using Prime, I'd be going through bottles left and right with all the water changes that I do. Not to say there's anything wrong with Prime, it's still a great product. It's just when you start getting into larger tanks and mini tanks, Seachem Safe can certainly save you quite a bit of money. The second bit of advice I've gotten on YouTube that made a very positive impact on my fish keeping is when I bought this 220, I was on the fence whether to get a 180 or a 220. At the time I had things set up a little bit differently down here, so the space was a little bit more conducive for a 180. But in watching YouTube videos and getting some advice from various people, I did decide to go with the 220, which turned out to be a great result for me. If I had gone with the 180, I don't think I would have had nearly as many predator haps in the tank that I do now. It just simply wouldn't have allowed it. So that was a huge difference maker for me in the hobby as well. So for the fun part, the two terrible pieces of advice I've gotten on YouTube over the years, and from two separate people, and I honestly don't remember who they were, but the pieces of advice stuck out to me because they were so bad for what you want to do in the hobby. And the first one that I had gotten was, when you clean out your canister filters, make sure you use hot water and soap. And their logic behind that was that the bacteria buildup in your filter, if not cleaned out completely, would spread disease to your fish if you didn't deal with it, which obviously is completely untrue. You want all that stuff in there. So if I had done that as recommended, all my fish would have been dead probably within the day. The second piece of advice I'd been given on YouTube that was just awful if you want to keep your fish alive is someone told me to not use any water conditioners at all. Water straight from the tank into your tap, or straight from the tap into your tank, and you should be good to go. And their logic for that was that the fish in the wild, in the lakes, aren't exposed to any type of water conditioner, so why should they be exposed to that in your tank, that it's not natural for them? And obviously I don't need to explain to all of you watching that you can't really compare water from Lake Malawi to water coming from your sink faucet. So again, those are probably the two best and the two worst that I can remember off the top of my head. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about those and kind of get your guys' perspective. I'm sure over the years a lot of you have gotten some great advice and some just hilariously bad advice, and I was hoping maybe you could leave a memorable one in the comments for everyone to read. I just thought it'd be fun. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time.